first about Brandon Ingram. He's ruled out tonight with a left hip flexor strain. How serious is this injury, and what's next for Brandon?
Hey, Kristen, good to see you. Well, look, they're going to have an MRI tomorrow just to confirm what they think was just a hip flexor strain. It doesn't seem to be serious, and that Ingram told me he thought he might be able to play in this one, but you can understand why they don't want to push it too much. It is going to be a big issue for them, though, on the court, because Ingram's been playing some really good basketball, really all season. February was his best month, and he was a real big key also to keeping them afloat when Lonzo was out. In fact, they had him playing a lot of point guard at 6'9". That was helpful because he could still play some other positions as well. So they're going to miss Ingram tonight in San Antonio. It's going to be a challenge. They're going to slide Kuzma into the starting lineup instead, Kristen.
What, though, has been the difference for these Lakers during this 10-game stretch?
Well, I think you got to give Luke Walton and the coaching staff some credit because they've built this system that's based around defense and really solid defensive effort. Last year, worst defensive team in the NBA by a lot. This year, they've been right around the top 10. I think they're currently either 10th or 11th. They probably jumped up a spot by beating Miami so thoroughly. So that's been the thing. And then out of that defense, they've been running. They're really athletic. They're young. They're energetic. Julius Randle's been playing great. Lonzo, since his return, has been good. So that's been kind of the recipe. And you really have to think about the coaching staff because this is still a very young team, Kristen. Their three highest-paid players don't even play that much aside from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So that's something that the coaches have been getting out of these young players pretty well all season long.
And Isaiah Thomas scored a season-high 29 in that win over the Heat. How now has he embraced his role with this team?
You know, Isaiah fits really well into that bench scoring role that Jordan Clarkson had occupied before he went to Cleveland. And in fact, he's got a little bit of an extra gear to him. Now, he's not 100%. That hip just didn't heal overnight. He's not quite as explosive as he was last year, but you can see it in pockets. You know, he had 9 points. You see the 3 there in the first couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. And they're going to rely on him tonight in San Antonio, especially with Ingram out. They're going to need him to carry the second unit because they just don't have – they have Kuzma now that's going to have to go into the starting lineup. So I think you're going to see something from Isaiah tonight in San Antonio as well.
We're hearing more and more legends, truly, of the game talking about Lonzo Ball and his ability now on the floor. We heard what Dwayne Wade said after that Heat game and his ability now moving forward, his potential now moving forward. What do you expect from Lonzo for the rest of this season?
Well, the first thing to notice that's been a little different these last couple months is that he's shooting the ball really well. He's starting to hit the 3 pretty consistently. He's been well over 40%. But that doesn't even seem to matter because you can look at his Jason Kidd-like numbers, and even when he's only taken 5 shots like he took in Miami, he basically controlled that game. Luke Walton called him the best player on the floor. He had 6 steals, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. He just does a little bit of everything. He's a very smart basketball player, and then he's more athletic than you think, too. You know, for a guy 6'6" with length, he's got upwards of a 35-inch vertical. I mean, he's got some athleticism to go with all that basketball IQ. So they really love him here. They think the national narrative will start to continue to creep up as people see Lonzo play a little bit more.
And I know Lakers fans have held on to playoff hopes for this season. Is a playoff appearance a realistic goal, you think, for this team?
You know, they're pretty far back in the loss column, but honestly, around the team, it's not something they talk about too much. They're still in this mode of build towards the future. And if you look at it, they already have more wins this season than they had last year. And that's, again, by playing mostly young players. So I'd say playoffs isn't really on the horizon in terms of what they're thinking about. They just want to keep the positive momentum building. And right now, it's been some pretty good basketball.